Hello people. The sun is setting, so I gotta be out here. You hear the crickets are chirping. It's time for another epic episode of Mac Music Review. In this episode, we're gonna be looking at the Father John Misty albums because it is the 5-year anniversary of I Love You Honey Bear. It was released in 2015. It's been 5 years since this album that a lot of people love and hold very dear to their hearts. An album that was ranked very high on a lot of people's best albums of the 2010s list. You know, it's a big album. It's an important album. I haven't reviewed it yet on the channel. I'll link, by the way, all the Father John Misty reviews that I've already done in the description of this video. But here we go, ranking the Father John Misty albums from worst to best. Here we go. Yeah, there's a trend in my ranked videos, and I wasn't going to let Father John Misty ruin that, where an artist's most recent album is their worst. And that is definitely the case. I mean, I shouldn't say definitely the case. This is, I think all of Father John Misty's albums can be described with one word, or, you know, a very, quick, 3-word description. I would call this the personal one. This one is where Father John Misty is this character. He really is a character. The real name is Josh Tillman. Father John Misty is this very egocentrical character that he plays that is also kind of himself, and, you know, mirrors his sarcasm and his really, really cynical outlook on the world. And we're going to get to that later. But this is a very sad album. It's a very human album. It's a very personal album. It's a very raw album in a lot of ways, but it just doesn't have the replayability of his other projects, and that's really what puts it in the worst. For me, this is an album, the more you listen to it, the less I like it, and every other Father John Misty album, the more I like it, the more I love it. So this is the only album from Father John Misty that's getting worse over time, in my opinion. But hey, it's still a really good album. Fear Fun. I would call this the fun album, or the fun one. This is really Father John Misty just flexing his creative muscles and really just having a fun time. And what I love about this album is you feel like a kid in a candy store, but it's a massive candy store, and every time you're there, there's something new or something you've never tried before, and you try that and you're like, oh, I actually like that. First time you see it, you're like, you know, that doesn't look that tasty, and you should give it a shot, and you're like, oh, that's really good. That's how I feel about this album. I haven't listened to it that much. This is my least listened to Father John Misty album, probably. Between this and I Love You Honey Bear, I've listened to the other two a lot more because I had to review them. I reviewed them. I didn't have to review them. I reviewed them on my channel, so I've listened to them kind of extensively. I was very hyped for God's Favorite Customer. But, you know, this is such a fun album. Super well produced. Great writing. Great singing. This is just a great album. This is just so much fun, and that's really all I gotta say about it. This is such a fun album. I Love You Honey Bear. This is the love album, or the love one. The one about love, whatever. And Father John Misty, a lot of people, I'll preface it with this, a lot of people would say this is the best Father John Misty album. A lot of people just love this album so much. Critics love it, his fans love it. This is just a beloved album. But it's not his best, in my opinion. Still a fantastic album. Super musically diverse. I was listening to this thing yesterday. Most of the songs fall into the category of these slow kind of ballads that are beautiful, beautiful production, super well written, very funny, very weird, and very cynical. But then you have these songs that break the mold. You have songs like the final song, which is super slow and stripped back and actually very emotionally affecting and very dang. It's a very dang moment, is what I'll say. It just leaves you kind of wow. And then you have songs like The Ideal Husband, where Father John Misty snaps and goes insane. And then you have True Affection, which sounds like something off this new Sufjan Stevens album, this electronically tinged love song. Feels very Sufjan, Age of Odds, Ascension era Sufjan. So give us a shot. Fantastic album. Pure comedy. I love this album so much. It's fantastic. This is what I will call the humanity album, because in this album, Father John Misty tackles the issue of humanity. He tackles the issue, not just America, of commercialism, of how artificial and fake everything is, and how terrible humanity is. Don't listen to this in 2020. You don't need this. You really don't. This was fun in 2017, 18 and 19, you know. Loved this thing for 3 years. But do not listen to this in 2020. It's not worth it. Actually, I don't know. You should listen to the last song. That's a comforting song. If you're really sick of the world, if you're really just had it, listen to the last song. Anyway, this is one of the most deeply depressing albums. It's extremely long. It's just the best artistic. It's the smartest thing he's done. It's the most well-written album he's done. The most well-produced, the most ambitious. It's just an awesome, amazing album, and I love it to tears. And that's all I got. How would you rank the Father John Misty albums? I noticed, I went online and tried to see how other people rank them, and a lot of people, I mean, most people say, like, Father John, like, they say Pure Comedy and I Love You Honey Bear are 1 and 2, but like switched around. And a lot of people say, you know, God's Favorite Customer and Pure Fun are 3 and 4 switched around. But some people really love God's Favorite Customer. That's like, and it's very rare for someone to put that on the bottom. Usually what you see on the bottom is Fear Fun, which I think is an injustice. I think this album is underrated by some. Generally speaking, people do really like this, but it's just kind of, people don't like it as much because it's his least cohesive. It's really just him doing something fun on each of the songs, and all the songs are not, each song is not really super related, but it's super smart, super well written, super well produced. It's just as great as his other stuff, if not better. I actually do enjoy it more than God's Favorite Customer. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day.